usually in case there's, just because there's technical issues, sometimes, as you can tell.
Good. And then I just throw it on the YouTube channel, so.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So just notice how your hips are feeling as you're sitting in your yoga mat, getting into your space. And if you feel any tension in the hips, maybe give yourself a little bit more height underneath your seat, knowing that you can always change the position of the legs. And we're going to spend one more week with Bakasana, crow pose. I watched back the video last week, and I think the second half of the class I called crow pigeon about 20 times.
You did, but
It's like, I can't believe nobody said Joan.
because we were hoping you'd do pigeon instead.
Ariane said she was hoping I was going to do pigeon instead. No chance. So we're going to spend one more week with Bakasana, and I did this, and I usually don't do this, running two poses as we're moving through Bird Month in a row, but crow poses, there's a lot going on, and you guys know that when we're asking the body to do all these different things, sometimes it takes a little while for the body to catch up with what the brain is asking it to do. And by taking another week, I'm hoping that you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, even if you've practiced it a little bit, even on the reclined option, which we're going to do again today. Knowing that if it's just not right for your body, you can skip it altogether. So just letting your body settle for just one more breath. Coming into your practice, into this space. And then releasing your chin towards your heart. Gently blink your eyes open, lift your heads. We've arrived. Good morning. We'll straighten our legs out in front. And as always, starting with our legs and feet in our practice, regardless of what we're doing for the course of our class. Bringing your hands to the top of your right leg and keeping your leg relaxed. Just get your right leg moving back and forth. So just getting a little bit of motion in the hip socket. Good, and then switch over to the other leg. And coming back to your first side, cross your right leg over your left. Interlace your fingers and toes. Shake hands with your foot. So I'm taking my left hand to the bottom of my right foot and making some space in between the toes and circling. Separating your fingers nice and wide. Remove your fingers, draw your foot towards you, press away, and then holding your foot. We're just going to give each toe a little twist and turn, opening up the joints of the toes. And once you finish working your toes, massage your foot out. Working your way around your foot, anywhere that the foot needs some attention. It's great to work your feet every day or a couple times a week. Not just good for your yoga practice, but for your balance, just everyday life, right? Eventually coming back up to the big toe side and little toe side of your foot. Hold your foot, hold the big toe side and little toe side of your foot, and just give your foot a little shake out. Getting this little bit of a wave-like motion in the ball of the foot. And then we'll rub the foot out and rock it out. Switch over to the other side. Interlacing fingers and toes, opening up your left foot. Yeah, that moon was something else last night, wasn't it? And Jupiter was so close. And it was so clear out, you really could see it. It's amazing. Separate your fingers nice and wide. Remove your fingers, draw your foot towards you, press your foot away, and then we'll hold the foot and just give the toes some attention. What, Dave?
Yeah, it's all good.
You're gonna tell me later?
Well, that was the day my brother passed away. Yes, yeah. It's a special day.
Special day, absolutely. And then once you finish working your toes, massage your foot out. Wherever feels good for you. Spend a little time on the ball of your foot. Super important for the ball of the foot to be flexible. And then work your way around. Some days you could just work on your foot, and that would be your yoga class, right? Eventually coming back up to the big toe side and little toe side of your foot. Hold your foot, shake your foot out. And then give your foot a little rub out and let's find our tennis ball. We're going to stay with the feet a little bit longer. And just lean back on your hands if it's comfortable and roll out your feet. Just pick a foot and roll. Start to notice your breath. Might get a big breath in there involuntarily. As we open up. Good. Switch over to the other side. And a yawn might come too. Good. So we're going to stay with the tennis ball and just do a quick release of our seat. Straightening your legs in front. If you're up on your blanket, come off your blanket. You just notice where the backs of your legs are in relationship to the floor. Give a little bit of energy in the feet, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Lean to your left. Find your right sitting bone, this big bone right at the bottom of your tush. Sit on top of the tennis ball. Press into your hands and shift your hips from left to right a few times. You're staying on the right side. You get the sense of the tennis ball coming to the inside and the outside of this big bone. Starting to dress and soften the tissue here. Staying on your right side. Now bend your knee a little bit. Both feet come to the floor. Scoot your butt towards the front of your mat. You're coming into the meat of your glute, right over the sitting bone and into the back string. Relax that head and relax your thumb. Direct connection between the pelvic floor and your jaw. So that's why when you see sprinters running, their faces are super relaxed and everything's loose. It's because you bring tension in the face, tension comes into the pelvis. Good, leaning back, just enough so your tennis ball is in front of your right sitting bone. Straighten your right leg. Bring your hand to the top of the right leg, and we're coming back to this rotation. You're feeling the tennis ball kind of coming into the meat of the hamstring attachments here. Another juicy one. Good, and then release. Pause here. Take your tennis ball out and close your eyes and observe. Your right leg might feel flatter, and maybe it's longer if you have tight hamstrings like me. Good, let's do the other side. We just did a nice release to the back line of the body, connective tissue running along the back of the legs, and actually all the way up into your forehead. So let's get the other side even. Side to side, and then let's move front to back, guys. Staying relaxed in your face, relaxed in your jaw. Look at those sprinters. Everything loose in the face. Breathing, and then shifting back just enough once again so the tennis ball is in front of the left sitting bone. You're not sitting on it now, it's just clenched right up against the bone. And we come into the 3 hamstring attachments here. Good. And then take your tennis ball out and sit and breathe. Lovely. Let's come back up onto our seat And if you'd like to use a blanket underneath you, you can grab your blanket or just sit however, again, is most comfortable. We'll get the arms moving. Nice big breath, sweep up, inhale. Exhale and lower. Just moving a few more here now. Next time you inhale, just bringing the left arm up. We'll take it over to the right. Let's move dynamically here, yogis. Sweeping both arms up, inhale. Taking it on your own time to the other side and just moving back and forth here a few times. Finding your best movement with the breath. Good, next time you sweep over to the right, let's hold. Reaching through your left fingertips and reaching your left sitting bone into the floor. Stay nice and connected to the earth as you reach up and out of the waistline, breathing here. No tension in your hands or your face. Good, let's come on back up, sweep up, and take it on over to the other side. Again, now the right sitting bone wants to lift up off the floor. Don't let it take off. Reach and extend into the earth so that the arms, the side body can be light and open. One more breath here. Good, and let's bring both arms up. Interlace your fingers, reach your palms straight up. If it's okay for your neck, maybe look up. Otherwise, keep the head level. Big stretch here and then release. Hands can come to the floor behind you or interlace behind your back depending on the shoulders. Draw your shoulder blades onto the back of your body. Nice big breath into the heart center. Good, and then release. Let's roll our shoulders out. Shake your legs out. Good, and then we're gonna just sit back a little bit once again and let the knees windshield wiper back and forth a few times. Good, next time your knees sweep over to the right, we're gonna keep them over to the right and make this little zigzag shape. We ended up naming this pose mermaid pose. I thought it kind of felt like being a little mermaid on a rock, right? So your knees are shifted over to the right. Good, and your hips are fairly square to the front of your mat. Good, guys. Bring your right hand to the floor. Sweep your left arm out to the side. Inhale here as you exhale. Let's twist to the right. Open it up. Inhale. And let's take another twist. So we're just going to move through, again, finding the movement with your breath. Everything soft and relaxed. As you twist, start to think about your navel, belly button moving into the spine as you exhale. This is really important for our crow pose, activating the core. Good, we're going to hold here now in the twist. Really reach to the right. And then bringing both hands down to the floor. So your left sitting bone is definitely going to come up off the earth a little bit. And now I'm in a pretty big twist. You might stay here in your twist, or maybe you can come down onto your forearms, or maybe you come all the way down. Again, we're still warming up, guys, so don't over effort here. Wherever you are in your twist, think about releasing your left rib, left side of the body, towards the earth. Keep bringing navel to spine on exhale. Good, and then slowly make your way out wherever you are. Walk yourself up. We're going to do a little counter twist to the other side. And then find your left foot. I'm holding onto my left ankle. And pick up the foot, flex the foot, and we're going to just swing it out. Oh, cheerleading move.
For the guys, it's the Heisman.
Yeah, it's the Heisman. That's right, Dave. Good. One more. So again, coming into the hip
Close.
here. Yeah. Good. And then bring your left foot to the floor. We're going to lean back, hold the pinky toe side of the left foot, pick up the foot, flex your foot, and then another little hip opener, rocking the baby. So there's lots of ways to do this. You can support the foot and the knee. If the hip feels more open, maybe you come under, but that's pretty intense while we're still warming up. Or you can clasp the hands, or just enjoy this. Good, one more movement with the foot and the leg. We're gonna bring the leg back down. Coming into Asana, we did this a couple weeks ago. Bring your hands underneath the ball of the left foot, lean back, and start to straighten your left leg. We're still warming up, so maybe the leg stays bent, maybe it straightens. Wherever you are, think about drawing your shoulder blades onto the back of your body. Heart is lifted, and breathe here. Throwing in a little heron pose. Good, and release, yogis. Bring the foot back down. We're gonna lean back, unwind, and then windshield wiper and release. I'm just gonna go close the door for me 1 second. So just windshield wiper the feet a few times, and then shift your knees eventually over to the left. Find that little mermaid pose shape with the knees shifted over to the left. We'll sweep the right arm out to the side. Inhale here, exhale, navel to spine and twist. Good, let's open it back up. Moving with your breath here. Good, last one. We're gonna hold and twist. And then bringing both hands down to the floor. You might just stay here up on the hands or maybe lower down, just depends on how it feels as you twist. This time thinking about dropping your right rib cage down towards the floor. Keep initiating navel to spine on exhale. Softening here into the pose. Good, starting to make your way back up and out, walk yourself out. Come into that little counter twist. And then we're gonna hold on to the right ankle, flex the right foot, and Heisman it out. Good. Last one, and then we'll come into our hip opener. Bring your foot to the floor first. Adjust your hips. Lean back, find the pinky toe side of your right foot, flex the right foot, and then we'll get a little bit of movement here. Notice as you flex the foot, if you're signaling it, meaning reaching more towards the pinky toe side, try to even the foot out. So you're extending equally from the inside and the outside of the foot. Good, coming into Asana now, bringing your right foot to the floor for a moment. Find the ball of the right foot, lean back and extend. Again, not as important to have the legs straight as it is to have the shoulder blades onto the back of the body. Feel very proud in this pose, heart is lifted. Good, and then release, bring the foot back down. Let's lean back and windshield wiper out once more. And we're gonna meet on our backs and do a little happy baby and then come into reclined crow. Just to review, knowing this is a great option for you if you've got stuff going on in your wrists. So we'll make our way onto our backs. Letting your body here settle into the floor. Draw your knees into your heart, hug your knees into your heart, give yourself a little squeeze, and let's just row our boat here. So do some knee circles here. Again, we're working in the hips a lot here at the beginning of our practice. And then eventually making your way into happy baby, finding the outside edges of the feet and staying quiet here, pulling the knees down towards the earth, or you can rock side to side. You don't have to have the feet, you could have the shins. Find what works best for your body as you're still opening up here. Good, we're going to move from happy baby into reclined Bakasana. Release your feet and bring the arches of your feet together. And you guys can see I'm flexing my feet, spreading my toes, and I'm bringing my knees wide apart. I'm not touching my legs at all here. So this takes some muscle energy. My legs are already feeling this. Now extend your hands up towards the ceiling and reach your palms up towards the ceiling. So you're flexing your wrists, bend the wrists, reach the heels of your hands up towards the ceiling, and spread your fingers wide. A lot of action and energy in the hands here, even when we're on the floor. Your hands are shoulder width apart. Now start to draw your tailbone up and your knees will move closer to the arms. So try to really lift the tailbone up, bring the knees as close to the arms as you can, and now bring your hands as close to your feet as you can by keeping the arms straight though. So now I'm in this kind of pigeon, reclined on the back. Keep reaching, maybe lift the head. So now we're really squeezing in, navel to spine. Squeeze, 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 squeeze the knees into the arms wherever they are. And now point your toes. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. And release. Let it go. Come on back down. Are you holding your breath? Windshield wiper your knees. We're going to do that one more time. This is such a great pose and such a great option if you need to take care of your wrists. It's work, right? It's not easy. What I love about it is it really gives you the ability to feel how much you have to engage to come into that shape. You have to do that same amount of engagement when you're on your hands. Good, all right, let's come on up. Arches of the feet together, knees wide apart to start. Extend the hands up towards the ceiling. Flex your wrists, reach the base of your hands, the heels of your hands up towards the sky. And now curl your tailbone up, move the hands more towards the feet. Find the arms somewhere. And then maybe lift the head. Keep breathing and point your toes. So create some resistance between your hands, your arms, and your knees, wherever they are. And you're breathing and you're squeezing. Squeeze, 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 and release. Let it go. Windshield wiper the feet. That fires up your core, huh? Good, bring your knees into your heart. Hug your knees into your heart. We'll row our boat a few more rounds. Make sure you go in both directions. And when you feel complete, we're gonna eventually end up on tabletop pose, hands and knees. You can roll up to table. You can come up onto your side and roll up, whatever feels good. Good, so come on up and find your tabletop pose, hands and knees. Once you find tabletop pose, find some movement, guys. So maybe it's a cat-cow, maybe you're moving in and out of child's pose. Tune into what your spine needs and move with your breath. Maybe barrel rolling the chest. Good. And then we're going to meet in a neutral spine and come into cat pose and hold it for a few breaths instead of moving out of it dynamically. For your crow pose, it's super important to have the upper spine open, and cat pose is a great way to kind of tune into what's going on in the upper back. Inhale here as you exhale, round, navel to spine, and hold here. So really let your head go. Really keep drawing navel in and feel that stretch in the space between your shoulder blades. Keep extending. I'm really pressing into my hands. The whole hand is super engaged. Fingers are spread wide. Breathe here and then release, come into your cow. It's different when you hold it. Good, let's do that one more time. On an exhale, find your cat. Navel to spine. Shaking your head yes and no maybe, finding a little traction in the neck. Keep pressing, keep expanding through the upper spine. That's the only place I'm focusing on really. And then release, come into cow. Child's pose for a moment. Inhale to tabletop. Let's find downward facing dog. Shift back, come on up. Moving dynamically here, back down. Into your tabletop. Child's pose. Alternating between downward facing dog now, guys, and your child's pose. Find some movement. The next time you move into downward facing dog, you can hold your dog pose. Or rest in the child's pose. When you feel ready to move out of dog pose, you'll come forward to high plank, shoulders over wrists, holding your high plank. On your exhale, taking it back, downward facing dog, and move through 4 more of these, coming forward to plank. On the exhale, taking it back at your own pace. Careful you don't dip too low, Marianne.
Okay.
When you finish your last one, you'll lower down knees, chest, chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana, elbows tight into the body. Squeeze in, inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog, coming into our flow a little bit here. On your exhale, taking it back, downward facing dog. And if the flow feels good, you can move through a couple more rounds of your vinyasa. When you feel complete in your flow, we'll find child's pose.
Good.
Okay, yogis, let's inhale to fours. We're going to take a little walk. If you're using blocks, you can bring your blocks up to the front of your mat and maybe have a blanket close by. So I'm just bringing my blocks to their highest setting. Do you want to use blocks? So you can use, if you want, you can use some of mine because they stay in my car and I clean them and nobody touches them. Or you can use ones from the studio. Yeah, whichever one you prefer. Good, so from hands and knees, you're gonna pick up your right foot and step your right foot forward. Keeping your back knee on the floor, pick your right foot up and step it back. And then come into the left. And I said your name wrong.
You can call me Hobby.
Javiera, yes, yes. I have an Alicia on Zoom. Good, step forward. And then step back. So we're just taking a walk. Try to be light as you step front and back. And what we're doing here is we're engaging the front of the hip, right? We're warming up the front of the hip. We're learning how to engage this muscle, which we use when we walk. Good, next time you step the right foot forward, we'll hold. And again, if you'd like, you can have a blanket underneath your knee. I'm gonna go ahead and put one underneath mine. Walk your hands up your leg. So we're a little bit out of the lunge. Inhale here, exhale, come on in. Inhale, come on out. And then just settle back in. Moving through a couple more. Good, last one, we're gonna hold deeper into this lunge and sweep the arms up. We did this flow last week. Exhale, hands come behind your back, interlace. Reach the knuckles down, lift up. As you exhale, straighten your front leg and fold, toes up towards the ceiling. Back to our low lunge, arms sweep up. Hands come behind, interlace. Inhale, reach down, lift. Exhale and fold, straighten the front leg, excuse me. Last one, sweep up. Exhale. Inhale, reach, extend, and then we'll hold here in our forward fold, really flexing the right foot, coming into the hamstrings. Now, the more action, energy in the right foot, the more the back of the leg will fire up. Good, and then walk forward. Optional to come into a quad stretch. I'm going to start to bend my left knee, sweep my left arm up and find the top of my left foot. Or you can just reach straight back and twist. Those of you guys in the studio, we're twisting towards the mirror. You can press the foot into the hand to open the shoulder or draw the heel in for a quad stretch. So you decide where you want to be. You might just be in the twist and you're breathing. Lovely. Good, one more breath here, guys. Everybody looks great at home. If you've got the foot, don't let it slingshot. Control and release. Let's find our flow. Step back. Downward facing dog. You can just hold dog pose, come into child's pose, move through a flow if you'd like. We'll meet in child's pose and do the other side. Take your time getting there. I'm just watching everybody at home as well. Good, yogis, let's come into that series on the other side. This time left foot comes forward. We find that easy lunge. Walk your hands up the legs. And on an exhale, sinking into the hip. Might be different on this hip. Good. Moving with your breath. As you inhale, you're backing off a little. As you exhale, come on in. Good, we'll hold here in this last one and get the arms involved, sweeping up, inhale. Holding your low lunge, exhale, arms release, interlace. As you inhale, reach down, lift the heart. Exhale, straighten your front leg and fold, flex the foot. 2 more, sweep it up, come forward. Exhale. Lovely, inhale, reach down, lift. And then we fold, flex the foot. Last one. Coming up. And release. Inhale, reach down, lift and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lovely. And then fold and flex and hold and breathe. You control the intensity of this by what's going on in the left foot. Good, and then we'll come forward for our low lunge to quad stretch. Or maybe bending now into the right knee. Sitting up a little bit, sweep your right arm behind, maybe find the top of your right foot, or again, you can just twist. Pressing the foot into the hand to open the shoulder or drawing the heel towards your butt for a quad stretch. Either one is perfect. Lots of variations here, lovely. You've got the foot, control, don't let it slingshot, release it back down, and let's find our flow, yogi. Step it back. This time we're going to meet after you come through your vinyasa or take a breather in child's pose in our forward fold, coming to the top of the mat into Uttanasana, soft knees as you come into Uttanasana. Let the head go. Take your time getting there. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, unfold. We're going to do this a few more times if you're still finishing up your flow. Work your way into dynamic forward fold, coming halfway up to inhale and releasing on the exhale. A few more. Good, staying in the forward fold here now. Optional to come into another shoulder stretch. Bring the hands behind the back. Maybe keep the hands at the base of the spine or lift them up towards the sky. Bend your knees a lot. Let your shoulder girdle get nice and heavy here. Shake your head yes and no. And then we'll release and walk the hands up the legs, meeting in mountain pose, Tadasana. Good, finding feet hip width distance apart and parallel, mountain pose. Good morning. You guys are hoping we're going to stay on the floor the whole day, right? Sweep up, inhale. We'll be back down in a minute. Exhale. Good, a couple more. Nice big breaths here. This time as we lift up, let's stay up, hold on to your left wrist. Reach up, inhale, exhale to the right. Good, bowing out your left rib cage. Again, side body flexion. Press down into your left foot to open up. Let's come back up to center. Hold on to the other wrist, lift up, and then take it over to the left. Nice big breath into the right side of the body. Let's come on back up, reach up, have sun salutation, exhale and fold. Halfway lift and release. Arms out to the sides, all the way up. And then let's fold. Halfway lift. And release. Arms out and up. Let's do one more together. Exhale. Inhale to lift. And fold. Arms out and up. Palms together over heart center. Shoulders relaxed here. Sweeping up, inhale, and release, fold forward. Halfway lift. Let's find downward facing dog, walk it back. Staying with the hips a little bit longer, guys. Floating your right leg up, reach it straight back behind you, and then lift the leg, open the hip, bend your knee. We're gonna do that figure 8 movement with the right knee. So bring your awareness into the right knee. Inhale here. As you exhale, come forward to plank. Draw your right knee to your left elbow, to your right elbow, and shoot it back up. Think about making a figure 8 with your knee. 2 more. Sweep the leg around. Left elbow, right elbow, and back up. Navel to spine. Exhale. Left to right, and back up. And then step your right foot forward into your lunge. We're going to come right into a low lunge, guys. So again, if you like to have a blanket underneath your knee, you can draw a blanket underneath your knee and let your knee rest on your blanket. We're going to bring our hands to the inside of our blocks. And you might, inside of our foot, inside of our right foot. So you might be on blocks, you might just be flat on the floor. Sometimes when we do this low lunge, we walk the foot out. I want you guys to keep the foot fairly close in for this variation and really think about hugging your knee in towards your shoulder. So maybe you stay here, maybe you come down into a lizard lunge, a little bit deeper. But don't let your right knee wing out. So really draw your right knee into your shoulder. This is the exact same action that we make when we do crow pose. So keep drawing the right knee in. Make sure you're not looking back behind you. You're looking straight down at the floor. Keep squeezing the right knee in. And then optional, you can come up onto the ball of your back foot. It's just a different stretch, if you'd like. Good, one more breath here. Keep squeezing, squeezing, and breathing. Good, and then start to walk yourself up. We're gonna come into a twist. Move your hands or your blocks onto either side of your right foot. Straighten the back leg. Bring your right hand to your hip and twist to the left, to the right. Maybe float your right arm up. Breathe. Back knee can be down here. Keep drawing the right knee in, keep breathing, and release. Find your flow. Let's take it back. We'll meet in downward facing dog and do the other side. Good, guys. Floating left leg up, reach it straight back. Bend the knee, open your hip. And here comes our figure 8. Inhale here, exhale, come forward. Tap the right elbow, left elbow, sweep the knee back up. Circle it around, 2 more. Extend the legs straight back behind you for a breath. And then calmly step left foot forward into your lunge. Releasing your back knee down, we'll walk the hands to the inside of the left foot, just slightly, finding your low lizard lunge here. Might be different on this side. Maybe you don't come as deep. Maybe you stay up on the hands. Wherever you are, keep drawing. This time your left knee in towards the shoulder. Find that engagement. Breathing and squeezing, super active. Body might be shaking a little bit, that's normal. It's just energy moving through. One more breath here. Optional to come onto the ball of the back foot and straighten the back leg. Just a different stretch here. And then we'll release and find our twist. Bringing your blocks or hands on either side of your left foot. Coming onto the ball of your back foot. Left hand comes to the hip and twist. The hand can stay at the hip or maybe the arm lifts up. And you're breathing. Keep drawing your left knee in. Don't let it wing out. Calm in your breath. And then release. Nice work, guys. Find your flow. We'll meet in child's pose. Take a little breather. From your child's pose, if your arms are behind you and resting on by your sides, reach your fingertips forward and walk the hands way, way out in front. So we're doing a nice side body stretch here again, getting length into the spine. Inhale here as you exhale, tippy-toe your fingertips to the right. And as you tippy-toe to the right, draw your left hip back. Come on back to center. And on your exhale, taking it to the other side, walking the fingertips, keeping little spider fingers over to the left as you reach your right hip back. Come on back to center. We're just transitioning here to the top of our mats, coming into Tadasana. Inhale to fours. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pausing here in dog pose for a moment just to experience the pose before walking your feet up to your hands into your forward fold. Soft knees as you come into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, unfold. Let's come all the way up. Palms together over heart center. Good, relax your arms, separate your feet and swing it out. How are you guys doing? Okay. We're going to do a standing eagle, a sleepy eagle. Focusing on that upper back once again, and then we'll do a hip flow, and then we will make our way into some variations of our crow. Good, so we're going to come into eagle pose, finding your feet hip width distance apart. If you need a wall or a pole or coming off your mat, whatever works best for you. Let's sweep the arms up first. So bring the arms parallel, bend at your elbows, bring your right elbow inside your left, and you might come for the full twist or find a partial twist depending on the shoulders. And then bend your knees and bring your left leg over your right. So you might be with the toes on the floor like I am. You might be in the full twist. We're going to come into a little sleepy eagle. I'm going to just turn to the side. So holding your eagle here for a moment, lift the elbows, broaden through the front of your collarbones. So think about separating your collarbones wide apart. You'll feel this stretch in the space between your shoulder blades. Keep your awareness in that space between the shoulder blades and start to round from there. So now I'm letting my elbows drop and I'm breathing and I'm letting myself round. And you may only come a short little bit, or you might really get sleepy, letting the head go. Keep drawing the navel to spine as you exhale. Find your sleeping eagle and really feel that separation, that space between the shoulder blades. Not easy. Good, come on up. Slowly with control, unwind all the way up. Hands come to the tops of the shoulders, sweep the arms up, reach up, and let it go. Good, separate your feet, swing it out. Do you feel that big stretch in the upper back? Yeah? It's amazing what a little change in that pose, where it changes the focus, yeah? Okay, let's do the other side. Feet are hip-width distance apart and parallel. Sweep the arms parallel. Elbows bend. This time, left elbow inside the right. Again, adjust, make sure shoulder feels okay. Might be different on this side. And we just find a nice eagle here, bending at the knees. Bring your right leg over your left this time. And again, maybe just the toes touch the floor because we're doing a lot with the upper body. Broaden through your collarbones, elbows lift a little bit. And then if you're coming into sleepy eagle, starting to round. Keep breathing. Feel that stretch in the space between your shoulder blades. All these little support muscles in the legs are working so hard to keep your balance. So good for your body. And then slowly we'll come out, unwinding through the spine. And we'll come out, sweep up, and release, let it go. Separate your feet, swing it out, yeah. Good, guys. Let's shrug the shoulders up, shrug them up, up, and go. One more, shrug it up, and let it go. I feel moved to do a tree pose for some reason, so let's do a tree pose. We're going to bring the energy down a little bit, and then we will come back in to our flow. Bring your awareness into your right foot, press down into your right foot, pick up your left. Bring the bottom of your left foot to the inside of the right leg, either above or below your knee, not on your knee. Eventually, maybe hands lift up overhead, or they just stay at the heart center. I'm not going to move so I don't disturb you guys. Toes can always be on the floor here. Find your breath. So much different energetically than eagle, right? Eagle is very active. Tree pose settles everything down. When you're ready to come out, slowly release and adjust. And then pressing Now into the left foot, pick up the right, find your tree on this side. I'm just gonna run out to the front desk and let them know we're gonna be a little bit after 10:30 because of the electronic snafu. We'll be right back. When you guys are ready to come out of tree, no, hold it till I get back.
That's what I was afraid of.
Wow, look at those trees. Come on down. Nice work. I just wanted to let them know we were going to go a little bit over because we started a little bit late, not due to anybody's fault in the studio. Sweep up, inhale. Got to get your time in. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift. Let's come into downward facing dog. Come through your flow once if you'd like. And then we're going to meet in child's pose and do the hip flow. So once you find child's pose, take a breath here for a moment. And then come on up and move all your stuff out of the way so that you don't end up kicking it. So nothing should be to the side of your mat. That's really where things start to projectile fly across the studio or the house. Good, let's come on to tabletop. So we're not going to do the hip flow we did last week, we're going to do the other hip flow. So from your tabletop pose, guys, bring your right knee to your right thumb. We're coming into a modified pigeon, nice easy pigeon here. Reach your left foot back. Come onto your fingertips, lift your heart. Inhale, big breath here. Exhale, release your right hip to the floor. Tuck your left foot behind you. And it's resting on the floor. Bring your hands behind you. Press it to the tops of your feet and lift your hips. Exhale and release back down. Back leg sweeps all the way to the front. You square your hips to the front of the mat. Maybe your back leg crosses over your right. And then we twist to the left. Come back to center, optional. You can stay here or come into Bakasana. Stacking your knees, supporting here, nice long spine. Good, and then find your top leg, should be your left leg. Draw your left leg, left foot behind your right. Separate your knees wide apart. Bring your hands behind you. Pretend you're on a swing. Press down into your feet and swing up. Lift the hips. Exhale and lower. Extend your right leg out to the right. Flex your right foot and fold forward. Inhale, sit up. Sweep your right arm in front and lift up into gate. So you're pressing into the left hand, top of the left foot. And here comes our big swing here. Inhale here, exhale. Sweep your right leg straight back. You're squared up to the front of your mat. Yes, nice guys, nice at home guys. I didn't see a lamp fly or anything. Nobody kicked the dog or the cat. Good, so we're in pigeon on this side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release your left hip down. Tuck your right foot behind you. Tuck it all the way behind you. Bring your hands behind you. Bend your right knee. Yeah, that's it, Marianne. Press down into your feet, lift your hips. Exhale and lower. Back leg sweeps all the way around to the front. Maybe it crosses over. or it can be here. Yep. And now we twist to the right. Come back to center, optional. The legs can stay right here, or you come into Gomukhasana variation. And then find your top leg, right foot comes behind the left. Separate your knees wide apart. Coming onto our little swing, hands come behind you and lift. Swing it up and lower. Extend the left leg out to the left. And we'll fold. Sit back up and sweep, come into gate. And ready, guys, sweep the left leg straight back. Yes? It's fun, huh? Okay, we're gonna do it like 3 times faster now. And so we're gonna do it fast, not too fast. But the idea here is to move and not come really deep into the pose because you stop thinking about it and the hips open up. Good, inhale, lift. Release the hip down to the floor, tuck your left foot behind you. Bring your hands behind you, press down to lift. Notice if the hips opened up a little bit. Exhale and lower. Back leg sweeps all the way around. Then we twist to the left. Come back to center, Gomukhasana. We will hold this for a breath or two. If you're really open in Gomu and you want to fold forward, you can fold forward in your Gomukhasana or just stay here. You're in the forward fold, slowly make your way back up. Top leg draws behind the bottom, separate your knees wide apart so your left foot is inside the right, closest to you. Hands come behind your back and lift. Exhale and lower, extend the right leg out to the side, flex your foot, fold over. It's kind of like a Janu Shirsasana variation. As you inhale, lift back up, sweep the right arm across the body, find your gate. Flex your right foot, toes up towards the ceiling, yes. And here we go, inhale, exhale, sweep it back. Lift into pigeon, lower, left hip comes down, right leg comes behind you. Really tuck it behind you. As far as you can, yes. Hands come behind you, press down and lift, swing it up. Exhale and lower, back leg sweeps all the way around. Then we twist to the right. Come back to center, Gomukhasana. Staying here or maybe coming a little deeper if it's okay for your body. Taking a breath or two here. If you're deep into your Gomukhasana, start to lift up. Drawing your right leg behind your left, separate your knees wide apart. Hands come behind you, press down and swing it up. Exhale and lower. Left leg extends out, flex your foot and fold. Inhale, lift up. Here comes our gate. Last one, guys. Inhale here, exhale. Sweep it back. Find your pigeon. Downward facing dog. Optional to come through your flow. We're going to meet in child's pose for a moment and then come onto your backs for one more round of reclined pigeon. Excuse me, reclined crow. I caught myself that time.
She said pigeon, right?
One more round of reclined Bakasana. I'm going to have to start saying it in Sanskrit so I say it right.
And if you say it wrong, we won't know.
That's right. So from your child's pose, making your way onto your backs and just letting your body settle for a moment. Guys, we started 10 minutes late. I'm going to go close to 20 of, just so that you know, because I want to make sure you guys get your full practice in. As you come onto your backs, let's just take a moment and rest. Little mini Shavasana here. Take 30 seconds or so and just let the whole back of the body soften into the earth. We've been moving at a pretty good pace this morning. Just letting that energy settle and be absorbed into the body for a few more breaths. Drawing your knees into your heart now. Hug your knees into your heart. Give yourself a squeeze. Maybe do some knee circles. And then we're going to find reclined Bakasana, Supta Bakasana. So once again, guys, bringing the arches of the feet towards one another, separating your knees wide apart. I'm not holding onto my legs any longer. I'm just letting the legs kind of float in space here. Extend your hands up towards the ceiling, so you're flexing at the wrists, reaching the heels of your hands up towards the sky. And now start to curl the tailbone up, and this brings the knees towards the arms, bring the arms towards the knees so that you're really engaging your core. And then maybe, if it's okay for your neck, lift your head up. If it's not, you can keep your head on the floor. And now you might notice that you can walk your knees maybe further down the arms. Maybe you're on the elbows, maybe you're on your triceps. Wherever you are, create some resistance. Arms into knees, knees into arms, squeezing everything, and then point your toes and breathe. You can hear I'm having trouble talking because I'm really squeezing. Squeeze, 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 and breathe and release. Let it go. This is your option if you've got wrist issues and Bakasana just is not feeling good for you. You've got to take care of your wrists, because if you injure your wrists, it's a long journey, just like with the shoulders. All these super mobile parts of the body take longer to heal. Let's do it one more time, and then we're going to come into Marichyasana, and then we'll eventually come into crow. So arches of the feet together, knees wide apart. Let's bring the arms in. A lot of action in the arms. Separate your fingers wide. And now the tailbone lifts and curls. Find some place on your arms with your knees, and maybe lift the head and point the toes and squeeze here. Engage everything. Upper back, core, arms, knees. Breathe, 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 and release. Good, let's come into one bridge pose. Bring your feet to the floor, elbows bent, knees bent. Press down into your feet, lift your hips. Just take a big breath through the front of the body. So it's a lot of engaging into the core. Let's open up the front of the body here just for a moment. Just a little counter pose. And then release, come on back down. Draw the knees into the heart. And we're going to make our way up to seated. And come into Marichyasana. Ray of light pose. I would suggest having a blanket underneath your hips. This is such a great prep pose for your crow pose. You can have a strap close by. You may or may not want to use it for Marichyasana. So coming up onto a blanket, straighten your legs out in front. Good. And let's bend into the right knee. And I'm bringing my right heel as close to my right sitting bone as I can. Don't draw it in towards the leg. Keep a little bit of space between your foot and your left leg. Lifting up onto the fingertips, get nice and long into your spine. And I'm just going to creep around and do a little twist here. So I'm going to start to twist around my right knee here. And here's that action, right, of drawing the right knee in towards the shoulder. Don't let the knee wing out and just hold here in this twist. Flex your left foot up towards the ceiling. So we're engaging a lot of muscle energy in the left leg, the straight leg. Good, and then come on out and adjust forward. If you'd like to try and come into the bind, but your hands just don't quite reach each other, you might bring a strap behind your back. Yeah, good, Dave. Dave's giving himself a little bit more height, really helpful in this pose. Good, so we're going to come into it now, guys. So coming into Marichyasana, same position, start to twist. Really try and tuck your knee, your right knee as far behind the body as possible. And now extend your right arm straight out. Bend your elbow and wrap the arm around the right leg. You're bringing the back of your hand towards your hip or your sacrum. Try not to tuck the head so much, so stay lifted. And now extend the left arm out and reach it around. And maybe you find your fingertips. If not, you can find your strap. Wherever you are, hold here for a moment. And if you're going to come into the forward fold, if you feel like you can come deeper into this, I want you guys to think about zippering your belly to your thigh. Don't take the act, not with your head, Marianne. So lift the head, neck, and spine are in line with one another. And now use your muscles to start to fold forward. Think about zippering your belly to your thighs. Start to tuck your chin in slightly. Back of the neck is long, and then find your forward fold. We'll take 3 breaths here, or 5 breaths. Or if you've had enough, come out and rest in staff pose, both legs straight, Dandasana. When you're ready to come out, slowly start to lift up, release the bind. Come out slowly. Unwind, lean back, straighten your legs, shake your legs out. Did that feel better this week? I think that's a great pose. Yeah?
I love that.
It's just a beautiful pose, isn't it? Dave's like, yeah, right.
I just can't get in it.
You got in it really well. Okay, let's do the other side. Yeah, good idea, Candace. Pound it out, baby. Left knee bend. Remember, we're not bringing the foot way in. We're going to keep it in line with the left sitting bone. Let's come into our little twist here. So all I'm doing here is trying to kind of shimmy myself in the twist and get my knee as far back towards the back of my body as I can. And just hold here. So you're just letting, again, we were talking about earlier, the body kind of catching up with what the brain's asking it to do. That's what we're doing in this twist. So hold here and breathe. Good, and then come on out Okay, Marichiasana 1 on this side. Coming back in. So we're going to come back into that same shape. This time, as you kind of wiggle in, you're extending your left arm straight out. Bend your elbow and wrap the arm around. And this one I can't go as far because of my shoulder, so I'm going to find my strap. And now the right arm extends, reach it out, get long, and then wrap it around. It might be different on this side. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you start to think about the forward fold. Remember, zippering your belly to your thigh. You're moving from the low back and letting that forward fold come all the way up the spine. You let the whole spine participate. If you just let your head go, then you've forgotten about the rest of your spine. So find where you can come to your fullest expression of the posture and take 3 to 5 breaths. When you're ready, slowly come out. Good. Extend the legs, shake the legs out. Pound it out. You guys ready? We're going into it. It's time. So we're going to do crow pose with our little perch like we did last week for the first round. And that might be enough for you. You can be reclined Bakasana if you want to just give your wrists a break. If you've had enough, we've been on our wrists a lot today. And then the option to come into full crow. You're coming onto your perch. I like to give a little cushion for my face in case I face plant. And then a block for my feet. And it takes a second to kind of get your props where they want to be. If you've got glasses, maybe take them off. And then come up onto your perch. So I'm bringing my toes up onto my block. And I'm already in that position with the arches of my feet together like we did on the reclined Bakasana. So bring the arches of your feet together, bring your knees wide apart. The hips should feel nice and open after our practice this morning. And now the hands come to the floor. So again, a lot of energy in the hands. The fingers are super, super active. Just like we did on our backs, the arms are shoulder width apart. And now I'm going to start to lift up and lean forward a little bit. And then again, you may have to adjust so that you've got your hands in a place where you can start to bring your knees to somewhere on your arms. And then maybe you lean forward and lift one foot up and then come back onto your perch. So we rock in and out of Bakasana. Come forward and up. You're looking forward, don't look down. Lift another foot up and then maybe come down. Yes, lovely. And then maybe you come forward, hips lift a little, one foot lifts, maybe the other foot lifts, really look forward, draw your heels up towards your butt and then come on down. Yes, that's it, lovely. Nice, Javi. Good, take a rest when you feel complete. And you'll have the opportunity to come one more time into it using your perch or not using your perch. Yes, make sure you're breathing. Very easy to hold the breath in this one. Good, I'm just going to change the view so I can watch you guys. If you guys are done with that first round, take a break. So you can come into the second and last and final round using your perch, if you like using the perch, or you can come in without, try it a different way. So same thing, you've got the arches of the feet together. Your hands are engaged and arms are on the floor and shoulders are shoulder width apart.
This time you are gonna lift the hips quite a bit because you're creating your own perch, right, with the floor. And then from here, I'm gonna walk my feet in just enough so that I can make contact with my upper arm, some part of my body. And then I start to lean forward, same thing, I'm looking forward, whoops, looking forward, and then lifting up.
And my body just bonked out, so I'm stopping. Hard work today. When you feel like you've had enough,
I'm just gonna watch everybody. Remember, you can always do this on your back. Let's meet on our backs. Yeah, lovely. How'd it feel? Yeah?
Losing my breath.
I know. We've worked hard today. So as you come onto your backs, yogis, really nice work today. Keep practicing that crow pose. Try it a couple times a week. It'll get easier. It's all about that brain-body connection. So we've done all that work this morning to kind of wake up those parts of the body that use Bakasana. We're going to come into dynamic bridge pose just to open up the front of the body from all of that core work, all of that navel to spine this morning. As you make your way onto your backs, bend your knees, place your feet onto the floor. Start to find dynamic bridge, pressing down into your feet, lift your hips. Sweep your arms up overhead, let them resting on the floor behind you as you exhale, lowering everything back down and just moving through this nice flow. Opening up through the front of the body here. You feel complete in your bridge pose, drawing your knees into your heart, hug your knees into your heart. We're going to move from here into the Prita Karani. And we're going to be doing this variation of legs up the wall on a block. This is not going to be an intense legs up. This is a restorative, therapeutic version. And so if you're using a book or a block from your mat, you're going to keep your block on its lowest setting. Bend your knees, place your feet onto the floor and press into your feet, lift your hips, and just bring your block to your sacrum, this triangular shaped bone at the base of your spine. You shouldn't feel like your pelvis is tipping way, way up or way, way down, so that your overarching should feel fairly neutral. And then lift the legs up. And we're going to be here for about 3 minutes. It takes 3 minutes for the blood flow to kind of circulate around the body and free up all that blood in the legs and replace it with fresh blood and oxygen. Very, very restorative posture. Great to do before you go to sleep at night. Any position here for your arms. And as with all of our postures in our practice, if it becomes agitating to you, you feel the breath getting choppy and short, or your body feels like it's agitated, then come down sooner. You don't have to stay up for the whole time. Or maybe you come down for a moment and then resume the pose. Finding your breath now. There may be a little vibration in the legs. That's normal. Again, that's energy releasing. We had a very strong practice today. A lot of mental and physical focus. That's just the body releasing that energy and work. Just one more minute here. About 30 more seconds, a little bit less than that. And then as you start to think about coming down, come down one leg at a time. So let one knee bend and bring the foot down. Let the body kind of adjust. You'll feel the blood coming rushing in. And then put the other foot down and let that settle. Press into your feet, lift your hips, curl your tailbone up so that you slowly move down one vertebrae of it at a time, coming in for your landing. When the body settles all the way down, pause for a moment. And then we'll move into a twist, our last pose of our practice, drawing your knees into your heart. Hug your knees into your heart, give yourself a squeeze. Making your way into your twist. Legs can drop over to the right or the left. Arms can come out into a T, whatever shape, twist feels good for your body. When you're ready to switch, take your time drawing the knees into the heart, hugging the knees in before coming into your twist on the other side. Eventually coming back up to center. Drawing your knees into your heart, hug your knees into your heart, give yourself a squeeze. And we'll move into Shavasana. So just take a moment. If there's any other pose your body needs before coming into relaxation, just take that moment to come into that posture.
And swallowing now so your soft palate releases back. Letting your jaw release from behind your ears so that your teeth gently part. Tongue is resting in the bottom of your mouth, feeling the insides of your cheeks release away from your teeth and your teeth away from your gums. Whole mouth, soft and open. Whole mouth releases, relaxes, let it go. Palms of your hands are soft and open. Soles of your feet are soft and open. We'll be here for just a few minutes. I'll be watching the time and we'll cue you when it's time to come out. Remember your breath. Taking a deeper breath in now and let it go. Perhaps another deeper, longer breath in and just let it go. Beginning to stretch and move your body as if waking from a restful sleep, or if the impulse is to remain still, then do so. Eventually, on your own time, bending your knees, placing your feet onto the floor and coming onto your side. Take your time, do not hurry. Make sure you support your head with your arm or your blanket. Eventually using the strength of your arms to sit yourself up, and we'll just take a moment with this sense of peace and quiet from our Shavasana to a more upright and wakeful pose, so we can take that peace with us as we leave the studio and get on with our days at home. palms together over heart center. Let's bow together towards our hearts. Towards each other. Namaste, yogis. If you want to unmute yourself and namaste out. Thank you for your patience, especially you guys in the studio this morning as we work through our technical difficulties.
Thanks,
Namaste.
Tony. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Bye,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'll make sure that my my cell phone is
Thank you.
blocked in my emails when I send them so that if you guys have trouble, you can text me, okay?
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye, Heather.
Namaste. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, Janet.
Later.
Thanks, Marie. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for your patience, Amy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.